All right. I wanted to just quickly talk about nutrition. So basically, when you start climbing, you start a process where you you start learning different things. So you learn um, climbing techniques, developing climbing strength, joint strength, mobility. You have techniques, so like actual rope handling techniques and skills. So you start on a path where you develop a lot of skills and understanding of how the body works, of balance, and body composition and this kind of stuff, and weight distribution. Um, and then basically you hit a point where, at least for me, it was like the last point, which was nutrition, and this was mainly because the place where I worked had a canteen, so I was like offered food all the time, so that was like brilliant. So I don't have to think about much. But of course, that didn't stop me from thinking about nutrition. But now that I have control over my food, now I think about nutrition. And something I just wanted to talk about now. I'm still here in southern Spain, in Andalusia, is some of the like vegetable based protein sources I found, which I haven't. I'll have to see. I've never really noticed them before, so I have to see if I can find them in other places. But I think they're quite specific from here. Um, the first one, of course, is oh yeah, that's what I talked about before. Um, Yeah. So basically, I found a blog that spoke about that. Of course, your calorie intake, the total calorie intake, has to match what kind of lifestyle you have, and then apart from that, it's really just the protein amount that matters. And when you're climbing, which is quite high intensity, can be low, or I did a lot of running, and that's sort of usually low intensity. So whenever you're doing like low or high intensity style activity, when you're doing lots of activity, you need protein to sort of repair your body um, as it goes through these cycles. Um, and so I started looking into um, getting protein from staples, so from your where you would normally get your carbohydrates. So one of the first vegetables I started looking into was our good friend lentils, lentilla rapida, and these are great. I soak these at nighttime and then just cook them up during the day. And they are, oh yeah, we should look. So that's the thing. Once you start getting interested in nutrition, then you start looking at all the macronutrients. So here, oh, I can see it. It's pretty bad quality. Um, we're getting 24.5 grams of protein to 28 grams of carbs. So it's about 1 to 2. So for every gram of protein in the lentils, we're getting carbs, and there's pretty much no fat and nothing really else. Like 1 gram of fat, 1% fat, and 10% fiber. Fiber's good. So really interesting to have a look at these different sort of staples where you get your carbs from, because it's super easy just to switch from, for example, pasta, which is about 10 grams of protein, and I think maybe slightly higher amount of carbs, just to lentils, and then you're getting like twice as much protein there. Another one, which I actually ate last night, so I don't have them in the thing to show you, but here they're called garbanos, and these are basically chickpeas. So chickpeas are a little bit more annoying because even when you soak them, you still need to cook them for a crazy amount of time, crazy amount of time. So they're not super great if you're camping and you're on the move. So you have to buy these jars, which I kind of don't like compared to. So one pack of this is 1 kilo. That'll make quite a lot. I actually don't know exactly how much of these, but it'll make at least 4 or 5 or 6 of these. So then you don't need all this glass carrying around, and then all the weight as well. of it. But basically, when it's cooked, it's the same nutritional value. Let's have a look here. It's like quite low light, it's hard to see, but it's 5.5 protein, already two, and we got 9.5 grams of carbs. So it's slightly higher. So it's 1 protein to 2 grams of carbs, and here there is a small amount of fat. Well, actually not that small. It's about half of the protein is in fat. So it's okay still. It's good as well. And it's really important to change or where you get your carbs, your staples from. There was a period where when I was living in Germany, and I was just eating couscous because it took like 5 minutes to make, tuna, and one other vegetable, and I ate that for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then my body started shutting down. I started getting like rashes, and it was going fully weird. And then my roommate was like, "Oh, maybe it's because you're eating the same food, exactly the same food, at the same times for like 2 3 weeks. Like maybe you need to change things up." So you got to switch them around as you go. But these are just like the good ones. So lentils, chickpeas. Now we've got our good friend beans. These are white beans. You get the red ones as well. This is, I'll read you out. So it's like 6 grams of protein and then to 11 grams of carbs. And there's really not much else. So this is even better than the chickpeas. And actually, it's better than the lentils. The issues with these are you also have to soak them for a long time and then cook them for a long time. Not as much as the chickpeas, but they are annoying on the road. So you have to buy them in the jars. If you don't have a pressure cooker, I'm actually considering getting a pressure cooker for when I get on the road. But regardless, super good, super healthy. Yeah, really good stuff. So the beans are good. And then I found these other amazing beans. I guess they're beans, but I'm going to show them. What's the name here? Altramuz. Yeah. And this is actually the reason why I made this video, because I haven't found these. Everyone's heard of chickpeas, lentils, and beans, but these ones here, first found them like at a bar in Sevilla, and they're just serving them on the side as like instead of olives for like tapa, shitty tapa. And then I found them in the store, and I was like looking, and I was like, oh, I felt I could have some olives. Yeah. Olives, I mean, nutrition-wise, they're just fat, really. But apart from that, so looking at these guys, and they are like a little bit of fat as well, but they are 9 grams of carbohydrates and then 12 grams of protein. So for every gram of protein, you have less than a gram of carb, and you have a third of the proteins are in fiber, and then you have like quite a low percent of fat. So here, if you have 100 calories of these compared to beans, which was previously our best, right? So 100 calories. Here you're getting 6, 7, 8. You probably get 8 grams, and here you're getting 12. So that's another 50% more protein per carbs. The only issues with these is that there's a lot of salt. It's actually 3-4% salt. So I just usually sprinkle them in. I kind of use them like a feta, like a nice salty part, and they're quite nice. I always put them in my meals. So they're really nice. The thing is, I haven't really seen them where you can, like where they would, I guess they could make some kind of flour out of it. That would be super awesome. Or they could actually have them not salted and have them just like the beans, and you just eat them like a staple. I don't know. I haven't seen them dry either, so I don't know how long that takes. I have a feeling that I will maybe find them in other parts of Spain, but not in France and not other places in Europe. So, but these are definitely to watch out for if you find them. Amazing, like groundbreaking. And if you want to go even further than these, then you go up to the really high end specialty things. And these are textured soya stuff. So here, it's a big font, so you can see them. So here we have 50 grams of protein and then 30 grams of carbs. So actually, and then a bit of fat. So actually here you have so you have like about a little bit less than 2 grams of protein to a gram of carb. I'm just checking, yeah, and this is like 3 3/4 carbs to 1 protein. So this is like the high, the holy grail type of thing. And I also use them like in my food. They're good to boil before, and you can chuck them in stir fry, and they're a bit squishy, so they get a bit of texture, kind of like maybe like when you chop up like pork, like those pork little squares. They kind of feel like that, and they're really good as well. But I wouldn't really consider this a staple. You can't make a meal. Can't be like the base. I guess you could like just do tons of veggies and then put this in. This is also not a staple as well because there's so much salt in it. It's crazy. There's more salt in this than is fat, or the same amount of salt than there is as fiber. So much salt there is. So I don't want to have too much of that. But so that's just what I wanted to show, just because I found these products in Spain, and I don't think I will find them elsewhere. Other than that, it's not all about protein. It's about like having a full, like, diverse range of stuff to eat from. But yeah, it's just a video to help you start thinking about where those last parts are in your development and growth as a climber. But cool, that was it.